Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to this Wind Power Engineering and Development webinar, Preparing for a Career as a Wind Technician from Classroom to Tower. I'm your host, Paul Dvorak, editor of Wind Power Engineering and Development, and thank you for joining us. Now, just before we start, here's a brief agenda. This webinar will be available on windpowerengineering.com, and a link to it and the slides will be emailed to everyone. At the end of the presentation, we'll have a brief question and answer session. Of course, not everyone that wanted to watch today's webinar could do so, but you can help them learn from it by tweeting the key takeaway points that you think are important. And in your tweets, be sure to include the hashtag /WindWebinar, okay? And after the presentations, I'll read the questions that you and the audience have submitted, and you can do that by typing them into the questions box on your GoToMeeting panel. That should be to the right of your screen. We'll try to answer as many of those as possible before the hour is up. Okay, now let me tell you a little bit about our speakers. Then I'll turn the microphone over to them. Our first speaker is Derek Johnson. He's the program chair for wind energy technology at Redstone College in Broomfield, Colorado. It's a little bit north of Denver. Mr. Johnson joined Redstone in 2010 as a faculty member in the school's newest program, Wind Energy Technology. He has more than 8 years experience working with complex electrical systems, including more than 5 years on wind turbines manufactured by Nordex and GE. He was promoted to the program chair in May of 2011 and has completed both the turbine technician training course and the converter certification course on GE's 1.5 megawatt wind turbine. He's also a Navy vet. And our second speaker is Ryan Gaunt. He's the program manager for wind turbine maintenance firm Rope Partner. Ryan began his career in the wind industry as a field technician for Rope Partner before transitioning to the office as a project manager. Prior to working in wind, Ryan's work experience was in residential and commercial construction, as well as various aspects of the outdoor industry. Okay, with that, we'll start with Derek Johnson. Derek, the microphone is yours.
All right. How's everybody doing? Let me take control of the screen here. All right. I'm the program director here at Redstone College. As Paul said earlier, basically started a program back in 2010, November of 2010. I'd like to talk about the program and where the program is going and what kind of new stuff we implement in the program, new equipment, stuff like that. Let's see if I can get these slides moving here. Okay, Redstone's been around since 1965. We're located in Broomfield, Colorado, about 35 minutes from DIA. And we got quite a few programs here. We have the FA program. Guys come on and learn to work on aircraft. Learn avionics for aircraft. We have an HVAC program and a newly programmed, which is the Wind Energy Technology program. And that's been around since 2010. Okay, our program, we'll talk a little about the program. It's been around, like I said, since 2010. Program length, we have a 50-month program. It's not exactly a 2-year program, but it's pretty accelerated. Our classes, we have 6-hour-a-day classes from 7:30 to 2:10. The program is comprised of about 12 classes. 4 our classes pretty focused on DC, AC theory, solid state, digital. And the rest 8 program is actually focused more on the wind side. So once they learn a lot about electronics, they get into the wind we call the Wind 101 through 108, which is the last 8 classes, and they can get into the specific stuff on wind turbines. We offer a couple certificates. Red Cross is one of them. They learn CPR from Red Cross, AED certifications. The OSHA climb, where we teach them to climb the turbine safely using DBI solid equipment. And also they do the OSHA 10 and the OSHA 30 climb safety. Once they finish the certification, they commence into the classroom training, and then we have a certain amount of hours of lectures, and then we do lab throughout the day. Some of the equipment that we have in the lab are Vestas V27 nacelle, which we use to do different types of maintenance, real-time maintenance we do in the field, such as shaft hog alignment, aligning generators, aligning gearbox, and also doing borescope on gears. And some of the stuff that we also do in the lab, we do hydraulics. They learn about hydraulics system, motors, generators, PLCs, and also we do fiber optic training. The program focus heavily on wind turbine. It is a wind turbine technician technology degree, so some of the things that we focus on is some of the maintenance, day-to-day things that they do in the field, such as they learn how to use a dial indicator, which is pretty important when you're aligning generators, aligning gearboxes out the field. They learn how to use a shaft hog. We do stress safety a lot. We make sure that everybody is wearing their safety gear, whether it's glasses, hard hats, safety boots. That's something we stress. And just working around electrical equipment, being aware of some of the high voltage that we work with. We work with 208 here at the campus. I know some of the guys that work in the field are going to go above 208, sometime all the way up to 690 volts AC. But here on campus, we only deal with 208 three-phase. But we also try to implement NFPA 70E, which is pretty important. Learn about electrical safety. Lockout, tag out. They learn how to lock out equipment properly, so everybody that's involved in the job able to work safe around electrical stuff. Not just electrical, but also hydraulics. Hydraulics is pretty dangerous too. And just working safely and working as a team, which is what we stress here. High torque certification. We do a high torque certification. They learn how to bolt different nuts on the tower, which is primarily most of the maintenance. I'd say about 70% of maintenance out in the field is actually torque and bolts. So that's something that we also teach here and ensure that students can work safely around high torque, which is pretty dangerous. So they need to know that. OSHA 10 and OSHA 30, which I mentioned earlier, they do OSHA 10 and 30, which is pretty important, knowing all the safety ins and outs of the industries. Okay. Next slide. Let's talk about some of the companies that come out to visit our campus, and some of the companies that hire some of the grads. Siemens is one of our big ones. Sky Climbers, SOS Staffing did some hiring for Vestas. SOS Staffing is a third-party company. Ethos Distributed Energy, located here locally in Colorado. They mostly deal with 750 kilowatt on a smaller version, but they hire a couple of guys for the field. Res, which is right next to the school here, right down the road, did hire some of our grads from the program, and Exco. Some of the company that's not mentioned there, like Nordex, I found out from the Career Services Department that Nordex hired some of our grads, and I think GE also hired some of our grads from that program. All right. Not only wind company, when they come on board, we also have like I said, we have an aviation program. We have different companies that come on board, oil and gas, and they also look at some of the skills that we teach here, and they also look at some of the wind guys, and you know, they're open to interview with different companies, whether it's oil and gas or wind. So some of the skills that we teach here do transcend over into oil and gas. So some of the companies that we deal with here, MI Swaco, Schlumberger, Wireless Construction Services, IHC Direct, and you notice the Rocky Mountain Geothermal company actually hired some of our wind guys. So not just wind, the skills that you learn, the electronics, the composites, do carry over into different industries. All right. Some of the success stories we have. We have one of our candidates from our March class actually went to work for an EXCO, and he's excelling pretty fast based on the knowledge level and his ability to learn the plant pretty fast. And he's actually moving up quite a bit because of his knowledge coming out of Redstone, which is one of our success stories. If you notice at the bottom there, the October class, there was a grad from our October class that was working on a piece of equipment that actually his supervisor was frustrated, didn't know what to do, and he actually learned how to align motors and gearboxes here, and he actually used that knowledge that he had to actually fix the problem, which gave him some good credit in the company. So they look at that, at some of the good things that we're testament to here. And those are some of our success story coming out of college. There's more. There's tons of. There's guys call me every day and say, hey, you know what? Thanks, Derek, for putting a great program together. And without this school, I wouldn't have a chance to get in the industry. So I like to commend that. All right. We do have a lot of companies come on board. We have like Clipper, Siemens actually came out to the site and visit, and actually emailed me back, emailed the school and said, hey, you guys are doing a great job out there. I love the program. Love what you're doing there with the electronics and the labs and stuff like that. So we do have companies that come on board, such as Clipper and Siemens, and you know, they love the program. They love what we're doing here, and we'll continue to provide good training for the industry, to meet the industry needs. Any question? I'm gonna go to the last slide. If you have any question, you can contact me. My email address is there. The website, redstone.edu. If you have any questions about the school, about the history of the school, about the program, feel free to email me or just go to the website. All right.
All right. Very good, Derek. Thank you very much. Now we'll continue on with Ryan's presentation.
Okay. Well, thanks, Paul, for the introduction, and Derek, thanks for presenting before. So Rope Partner is a company that specializes in rope access, focused solely on wind industry, and provides maintenance for the predominant number of all the large OEMs, owners, and power companies out there. As you can see there on the slide, Rope Partner is the premier provider of turbine maintenance, repair, and inspection services requiring specialized access approaches. Our wind core technicians have partnered with our clients to deliver cost-effective, environmentally appropriate solutions, resulting in increased turbine availability and operational longevity. And basically, that to say is, we believe in rope access as a method that's quick and efficient. We can get in, we can get on the turbine quickly, do the repairs that are needed, and have the turbine back in operation as one of the quickest means of access. So, forward here. So to become an employee of Rope Partner, the first major thing that we need to have in place is the certification for the rope skills. So we are SPRAT certified, and all our technicians are SPRAT certified, which is the Society of Professional Rope Access Technicians. Once there are 3 levels within SPRAT, once you take a training, it's 4 days of classroom hours, and then with a 5th day is an examination. And after that first one, you'd become a rope access worker. and then you work for 6 months and you have to get 500 hours on ropes, and then you'd be able to come back for a second training, another 4 days with an exam on the 5th day to become a rope access lead, and then there again the same 500 hours, 6 months to then take the course to become a supervisor. For any job that happens, there always has to be a supervisor on site. So, it's definitely beneficial to get the hours in, work up to that, and then you'll be able to oversee any repairs that are going on via rope access on a site. The skills that you get in the training are based on learning the gear that needs to be used, how to inspect it and assure its quality, how to properly use it and set it up, as well as various rescue scenarios. And additionally, you learn how to create a job safety analysis and the important components of that. Then once you're working for Rope Partner, we have our hiring process, and once we bring people in, we then begin them into our Wind Corps program, which is to say we also have kind of mimicked the SPRAT certification in a way where we have the 3 levels: the Wind Corps worker, the Wind Corps lead, and the Wind Corps supervisor. But ours not only tracks your time as a technician and the rope experience, but it also tracks things such as in-house trainings that we do for composite repairs, for industrial coatings, and other various aspects, conductivity testing on lightning protection systems, and et cetera. So the other thing that we emphasize is additional rescue trainings with focus on the wind turbines and any unique scenarios to that. We look at confined space scenarios and highlight confined space awareness and the need for an confined space entry supervisor and what the different components are for that. We also have to do a respirator fit test every year to make sure that as a technician you're fit and you're safe and you have appropriate fitting mask and any other PPE that might be necessary, because definitely sometimes while you're out there working on these jobs there's long hours and you might have a half face or full face mask on in extreme heat, and you just need to know that this is something that you can handle while you're out there. So and then on top of that, the additional certifications you need for being able to work on any wind site are going to be the OSHA, the NFPA, which is your electrical safety, and then CPR and first aid. So once all those sort of aspects are in place and you've gotten the different trainings required, the first thing that any technician does for our company is goes out as a mentor, as a mentee, I suppose, for our mentorship program, and that's a week out, because a lot of times the people that come in that we've hired don't have any experience on a turbine out in the field. So, what does it mean to be out there? What does it feel like to be out there? What does it feel like going over the edge the first time 100 meters off the ground on your ropes? So we make sure to have a mentorship. We have a mentorship program in place so that technicians feel fully comfortable and up to speed and have seen the lotto for turbines and understand all the various aspects before they're considered a full technician. So we've kind of gone through, the trainings and the qualification needs for becoming a rope access technician for Rope Partner, at least. And so, what does it mean to be working out there? What does it mean to work for Rope Partner, and what is the life like? our technicians are employees of the company. They are on call, and they can request time off. But essentially, if you're not on a job and we need you, we'll call you up, let you know where we need you to go, and then you can travel anywhere in North America or possibly even abroad. We do work overseas as well some. So it's kind of, sometimes you only have a moment's notice. When I was working as a technician, I was on my way out of town one night and got a call on the way out the door, and they asked if I could fly. It was a Friday night, and asked if I could fly Sunday. So I called up the people I was supposed to be meeting and said, I'm not going to make it. I've got a job. So you need to be extremely flexible with being able to go out on jobs. Then with anything though, one of the challenges of wind industry is that the wind poses a problem to a limitation to being able to work as well. So all turbines have a lockout limit. A lot of times this will be around, say, 12 meters a second. So anytime the wind picks up above that, we'll have to shut down for the day to allow the turbine to spin. And so we may not get to work on those days. We may also not get to work because of rain, or a lot of these a lot of the chemicals we use for repairs have weather limitations as well. Certain can't be above 80% humidity, or can't have a dew point that's within 4 degrees of the temperature that we're working at, just to be able to create the best repair scenario. Also, weather limitations or things to consider is that a lot of these areas where the turbines are built. So you have a repair need in Texas in the middle of the summer. As a technician, you have to understand that you're probably going to get multiple consecutive days over 100 degrees, and need to understand and be aware of the heat exhaustion and signs and symptoms. Have plenty of water. Maybe wear clothing that covers your skin, even though it's hot, but will protect you from the sun and ultimately help keep you cool. Every site that you go to is going to have a site safety orientation the first day there. You get on site, you have to go through, learn the site, learn where the site's evacuation routes are. You need to know what the nearest hospital and rescue services are, which all of that information gets covered in the JSA, the job safety analysis. All that information should be incorporated into that document, which is given to all the technicians to sign on before the beginning of any job. And then daily, there's tailgate meetings to cover, safety topics that maybe arose the day before, or just as precautionary, things to think about and always keep in mind. And daily, always making sure that we have the appropriate PPE and know, which is personal protective equipment, and need to make sure that we have that in place for every job scope and know exactly what we need, whether it's the full face mask, respirator, like we were talking about before, needing to have annually fit tested for. But just always emphasizing the best safety practices possible, and making sure that everybody understands what needs to be in place for that, for any job. So, we finish up a long day's work, and you're out on the road, oftentimes pretty far from home, and technicians get sick of eating at restaurants all the time, and so how do you live out of a hotel room? That's one of those challenges that need people trying to figure out constantly what's the best way. People have some of our technicians bring rice cookers or electric skillets. We always try and make sure that the hotel room has a microwave and a refrigerator for our technicians, and it just kind of helps with life on the road and helps the technicians be as comfortable as possible when they're expected to be out on a job for 4 or 5 weeks at a time before they get a break. And then oftentimes the hotels will have hot tubs and pools as well. And then one of the things that we try and have with Road Partner is that we just have a really strong community of technicians. Our technicians we try and bring in are all of a similar mindset, and which means for days off they always enjoy doing things together, going climbing or playing basketball or disc golf or real golf or whatever that entails. But after working many long days, 12 hours a day, you just need to be able to wind down and have that thing that you're interested in doing to be able to keep some sort of sanity or creature comforts, or the ability to do that which allows you to wind down. So I think that's great. And even between jobs, we have technicians that will travel together, go climbing various destinations throughout the country or even throughout the world. And so that's really something that as a company we try and foster as best as possible, because we feel that it makes for a stronger technician force, people that can really work together and travel together, and ultimately just want to be able to keep working for us and create this community. And it's also allowed us to have a strong carryover year to year and keep technicians, which has also allowed us to just become perfect our skills in the different fields of repair more and more, and just carry that knowledge over from one year to the next. And so if you're interested in learning more, go to roadpartner.com, and you can also follow us on Facebook. So, thanks for joining us today.
Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen, both of you. Nice work. I have a few questions. And ladies and gentlemen in the audience, you can type your questions in a little white box in the middle of that column to the left, to the right of your screen. I have a few prepared questions. Derek, let me start with you. First big question. One of the tools that a technician will learn to use is a shaft hog. What the heck is a shaft hog?
A shaft hog basically is a piece of equipment that's used to align the gearbox and the generator. The gearbox and the generator is coupled together using a coupling. It actually connects the gearbox to the generator, and one of the things that you have to pay attention to is if it's out of alignment, you can damage the generator, you can damage different equipment, and it could be a dangerous thing up there. So you have to make sure that it's aligned radially. Actually, it's got to be within certain specs. So that's something that we actually teach the students here, how to align the gearbox and the generator.
I see. Okay, very good. Okay, here's one for you, Ryan. When's the next upcoming training for getting Spratt certified?
Okay, so Road Partner we're actually currently doing a training right now. So we have a group of guys in here training at our facility right now. We can do the courses at our facility, which is actually a really good way if you're interested in working for us, because that way it's sort of an additional week of evaluation. The next training that we have is I believe September 10th through the 14th that week. But if you go online to our training page, there's plenty of courses listed there, as well as if you just get in touch with our training manager. It's always being updated depending on the amount of interest in any given season. So there may be more trainings that aren't listed on our website, or the trainings may be moving around a little bit.
Okay, very good, very good. All right, here's another one for you, Ryan. Excuse me, Derek. This is for Derek. How much climbing equipment will I have to buy for the school, or does the school provide that?
The school, we have a platform that's about, I'll say about 30 to 40 feet that we use to simulate the climbs, and we have at least over 20 something different harnesses that you can use here, so you don't have to bring any equipment.
I see.
The school also, you can get boots. We provide a hard hat, the safety glasses, and everything is available here.
Okay, very good. Okay, Ryan, this one's for you. Okay, what employment opportunities does RoPartner offer? You sort of hinted at some in the presentation, but are you looking for people right now?
We actually did a bunch of hiring this summer to sort of meet the demand that RoPartner's been having. We're trying to keep it at a controlled growth rate, though. So I believe that for the summer now we're done hiring, but we'll probably possibly have another hiring starting in the fall sometime. I believe right now with all the new hires that we have over 50 technicians, and of those, more than half are level 3 supervisors. Mm-hmm. So they've been with the company for quite some time, and they've been able to work up to that level. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I believe our number now is just going over 50 technicians.
All right, I have one last question then for you. You know, most of the guys, the people in the pictures you showed are hanging from ropes. Is that your only method of accessing a blade? And how does that compare with maybe, what else would there be? There's some ground lift equipment, and there's some other platforms that I guess suspend from ropes.
Yeah, exactly. There's booms and platforms, and there are other access methods. Our technicians work for RoPartner because they're interested in rope access, and that's where they feel comfortable, and that's the method they feel comfortable working in. You know, there have been different scenarios that have arisen where we have worked from other access methods, but mm-hmm. As I was saying, just generally speaking, this is the method that our technicians are comfortable with, and we feel like it's a very effective method for doing most repairs. I think people are really surprised with some of the things that we're actually capable of doing, the size of composite repairs that we're able to take care of still. And you know, just kind of what I touched on a little bit at the beginning with saying that if somebody needs something taken care of, rope access is one of the fastest methods, because we can fly with our equipment and show up, you know, days after the call comes in. Mm-hmm. And you know, because all we need is our ropes and our toolkit, and we can be there. We don't have to, you know, travel with platforms or, you know, and because of that, you know, the smaller amount of equipment necessary for any standby days due to weather or on-hold days, you know, we're not charging. I mean, we pay our technicians to stand by, but we're not charging for this additional equipment to just be sitting around like a crane might, you know, charge for the rental fee and whatnot.
Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. Well, we've answered all the questions, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, the webcast will be available for reviewing at windpowerengineering.com. There's a webcast button at the top of the page. With just one final message, you can follow Wind Power Engineering on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. All right, this concludes our presentation. I want to thank everyone for their attention. From the staff here at Wind Power Engineering, we wish you a good and productive afternoon.